Hey everybody, Miss Christian here. So today I had wanted to make a video on why black people should be careful following Dave Ramsey and if I follow Dave Ramsey, what I actually think about his plan. So I won't hold you. Let's get right into the video. And I'm going to do a one take, so sorry if it won't be nothing animated going on the screen, but I really want to get this information out, and I have notes here, so if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at the notes. So the number one, the first thing is no credit score. Like Dave Ramsey believes in no credit score, and if you are a black person in America, you know that there is still racism. And I have on my red, white, and blue scarf today just to remind me that I'm in America and anything that I want is possible because I'm not in a third world country where no matter how hard you work, nothing you do will ever amount to anything. So this is my reminder for the day. But back to what I was saying, he believes in no credit score. So when it comes to that, it's like he says when you go to buy homes, you can get manual underwriting. If you have a 0 credit score, you can get manual underwriting, which means that you will actually have a person look through everything, examine, your bank statements and, your on-time payment history, like for your utility bills and different things like that. And they will actually make sure that you are equipped to own a home and the money you have in the bank and everything like that to own the home to get approved. And it takes the machine out of it. Well, if you are black, like I said, we still deal with a lot of racism. And most of the time, or most people who will do our manual underwriting will be a person of a different color than you. They won't be black. They will most likely be white. And I'm not racist at all, but I'm definitely realistic on the fact. So they will be white, and you don't know what this person has a hidden agenda when it comes to you or not. I had seen a document on Yahoo Finance, I believe I was looking at, and it said that a black woman was putting her home up for value or putting her home up for sale during right now everybody is trying to sell. She had an appraiser come out, and the appraiser kept on appraising her home for less value. She ended up having one of her Caucasian friends take the place of her, and I think it was like 3 or 4 tries. On the 4th try, the Caucasian friend took the place of her, and a different appraiser came out and appraised her home for like $20,000 more, and nothing had changed. She said she didn't add anything to the home. She didn't fix anything to the home. It was just that a Caucasian was in the home instead of her, so they gave the home more value. This was on the news, and like I said, it was in, I believe, Yahoo Finance. It had because I see that on my phone. So she had actually called the news station to let them know her experience and how today in 2021 there is still racism going on. And that's why I say you have to really be careful with having something that's manual and man has to touch. I would rather have a great credit score where a machine does not know if I'm black, white, Hispanic, or anything. They just know if my credit score is good, if my money, they're just doing all the checks electronically, and it's not actually physically getting put into anybody's hands. So that's one. Moving forward to number 2 is he doesn't see color. He doesn't see color. And I know a lot of people who are not black say they don't see color. Well, I believe that we should see color. Like saying that you don't recognize that I'm a black person means that it's don't say that they're black like it's something bad. Usually when you tell your kids not to say something, it means that you're telling them don't say that because it's bad or it's rude. Calling me a black woman is not rude to me. That's not bad. And it allows me it allows me to know that you are aware that there's different things that I will be harder to get for me because I'm a Black woman, and I would have to go through certain loopholes that you might not have to go to, Dave Ramsey as being a white man. So when people say they don't see color, that allows me to believe that they're going to be one of two things, or probably both. They're going to be really insensitive to the fact that there's going to be different red tape and roadblocks that I have to get past, and that everything that they're free to do without the headache, that I won't be able to do it. So they're going to be very insensitive when they teach me or show me how to do stuff, because they're not aware that it's going to be different for me because I'm Black. The second thing that they might that they could be is naive. They're just really naive of how much racism there still is today. No, it is not like how it was in the past of being out in the open, but now those people who used to be out in the open, those with all of those high paying those jobs and those careers, now it's their children or their children's children, and that hatred has been passed along, and now I'm going to be in front of these people asking for their approval to be able to get past a roadblock. So that's the second reason why I feel like Black people should really be careful when it comes to following Dave Ramsey. The third reason is, I have my notes right here, is he has a poor mindset. So if you know his story, he was like this big real estate investor. He was flipping houses and he was doing all of that, and he was very young, and the bank, I guess, called his notes or something, and he had to pay all of this money up front because the bank has switched over to a new company. And they like, hold on, we're lending all this money to a 20-some-year-old, millions of dollars, and we need to know that like he's good for it. So have him pay this stuff back because we are too top heavy right now. And the bank had just got sold, and now they see like why the bank had been in financial devastation, because they're just lending money, and they see like this kid had the most money lent out due to all of these houses. Well, they called all of his notes, meaning they said bill due now, not on a fixed rate, 15-year fixed rate or whatever, is due now. So he had to pay all of that. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. It may have been millions of dollars that he had to pay. And that put him into having to file bankruptcy. So when that happened, he developed, the baby steps and all of that ended up getting birthed out of that, because he had to learn how to be financially stable without being a slave to the lender, and have only worry about what he had in his reserve and not anybody else's reserve. So with that, it became, I feel, in my opinion, that it developed a fearful mindset and a poor mindset. So even though he has the money, he doesn't spend the money because he's still in fear of, if something was to happen, I would have the money to pay for it. When even we know, when you're faced with different things, it puts an imprint on your mind, whether you realize it or not. So like me, a personal story of me, like me being in a financial struggle, I had to move like every single year because I couldn't save money and I couldn't pay my bills. So I had to move. I was getting evicted every single year, and I was putting my stuff in storage. And when I got blessed to get a home and I, could actually work on getting all the way stable, I did not have any furniture for almost 3 years. Like, I just had the necessities, of course, bed and different things like that for me and my children. But when it came to like all this living room furniture or decoration, things up on the wall, I did not put things up on the wall, because in my mind, even though it was, this is going to be your stable spot, and you don't have to worry about getting evicted. Like, you've been properly prepared to, be stable in this moment. In my mind, I still had this fear and this habit of moving every year. So I just kept in my mind saying, hey, if something happens next year and I get evicted or I have to move, like, now at least I don't have to worry about getting a huge storage bill, packing up all of this stuff. I can just grab me and my children's bags, maybe have a truck to get our beds, to the next spot. And then that's all I have to worry about. So I didn't even realize that I was doing that. When people used to come over and it's like, oh, you could decorate, you could do this, you could put up some nice curtains. I didn't understand, like, mentally why I was doing that until I took some, self-examination and said, I think I'm doing this because mentally I think I'm going to get evicted, this year or next year and have to move. So I'm keeping things bare minimum as possible because I've been on this same route. Well, that's how I feel his fearful mindset or his poor mindset was birthed. And when you are a Black person, you already have a mindset of lack because of oppression, because of our ancestors and what they had to go through. And what they went through was imprinted on them, on their brain, because what happened was so devastating. And so that was passed on generation to generation. And we are already fighting oppression. We are already fighting a lack mindset. We are already fighting a lot of different things. Speaking of which, this channel is all about escaping the effects of oppression and actually helping those people develop the mindset, and people who are developing the mindset of wealth and abundance so that they can build generational wealth and leave a legacy. So if that's something you'll be interested in, please hit the notification bell so you won't miss anything, and the subscribe button below. So, so I feel like we have to be very mindful of that lack mindset because we are already trying to get out of it due to everything our ancestors had to go through. Sorry, and everything that got passed on to us. So, do I follow Dave Ramsey? I would say yes, but yes, because he is faith-based, and I like that he puts God first, and he talks about tithing, and he's not materialistic, and he talks about how the borrower is a slave to the lender, and that's in the Bible. So he's teaching us the foundations of not being a borrower and not being a slave to the lender, and actually owning something, being in ownership. And I believe that's what all people should do, especially Black people, because so much was taken from us. Things that were promised to us has never been given, and things that were promised and that was promised us, and things that our ancestors owned was end up getting lost or sold during generations. So I feel like ownership, yes, is the best way we should be. But I wrote the notes down here. The Bible also teaches us to follow the rules of the land. And so with that, I feel like him being a white man, he can follow the rules of the land a little bit better because the rules is made for his best interest. As far as Black people, the rules and the laws were systematically made to keep us oppressed and to keep us down. So with him saying, hey, do this, you have to say, yeah, the Bible teaches this, but the Bible also teaches this. And so if you're following the rules of the land, you know that we as Black people will always end up on the last in the line. And to beat that, we have to have more tools and options in our toolbox. So we have to have a good credit score. We can't just focus on what we have in the bank. We have to focus on, building relationships and different things like that, and not just be all solo and all me and this is mine, and no outside investors or people who do things from the outside, because our options for us is what gives us power. So we have ownership, but we have the option to have an investor if we wanted to. We have the ownership of having cash to pay for a building or a home, full out, but we have the option with our credit score to, use that and make payments or whatever have you. So that's, the conclusion of everything. I also have some videos on the screen that I'm going to put that is just about building, that faithful and abundance mindset. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comment section below. Until next time, everybody. Bye.